Happy Tuesday. Lo here from Custom Creations by Lo. Today I am excited to show you some products from one of my new affiliates. Thank you, DiankaPours, so much for allowing me that. I bought 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 powders, and when I tell you each of them are more beautiful than the next, it's really hard to believe because they're all so gorgeous. She included this lovely little thank you note, which is also a message from her, but on the other side, so that you can keep track of the powders you have or ones you may need. All of them are here on the back, so you check them off as to one you got. So I thought that was really, really handy. So that way you know you don't duplicate something if you don't need to. So we're going to go through each of these colors, and then I'm going to pick out something to make, or some things to make, depending upon how long this runs. I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope you was able to watch my last video in the making of the Hello Kitty product. That was a struggle, but it's over. So we're just going to move forward. So the first color we're going to start out here with is sterling silver. That just looks like it should be liquid. I haven't opened none of these because I was waiting for the video. Oop. Look at that. Doesn't that just look like liquid? So very pretty. I don't think I'm going to open each one of these here on camera because I will be wearing a lot of it and it will take us a long time to get through them. So let me just clean up this little mess that I just made. Alright, so the next one is the Quartz White, the premium pigment powder. Look at that color. It's so pretty. And then we have Magic. Don't know if you can see how pretty that is in there, but when I get them open and I'm doing something with them, I will definitely show you. The next one we have is Royal White, and to me it looks like it's got just a hint of gold in there, or just a reflection of it, but isn't that pretty? The next one we have is Alchemy. It's kind of a pinkish color. And let's see, the next one is Hypnotic, and when I tell you, blue is my favorite color, royal blue and black. And this color of blue it's gorgeous. Probably going to be one of the first colors that I use. And then here's another blue. It's called Aquarius. Kind of actually more of a purple than a blue, but it's very, very pretty. And then we have Jessica Rabbit, which I know I've seen a lot of people using this particular one and said they absolutely love it. You know, it's red, red shimmer, so that is going to be very pretty. Then we have the Enchantress, and this is like looks kind of like a deep dark plum. And then we have Tree of Life, which is a beautiful green. Hope y'all are able to see these. And last but not least, we have Portal. Again, this looks like something like a galaxy of sorts. You know, you could do some really pretty things with that. So those are all the colors. I did mark them off on my list of the ones that I have. If you are interested in any of her products, or you want to place an order, again, I do have an affiliate link in my description box. you will get a 15% discount. It does not apply towards the sets because they are already discounted. And they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes off camera, clean up this powder I got here. And then I'm going to figure out what we're going to make, and we'll be back. Hello. I'm back for a few minutes. I've decided I am going to do this mold that I have never poured before. It is a dwarf. I don't know if y'all can tell that, but it's a dwarf. And I've decided that I am going to use these three colors here in front of me of the DiankaPours to do it, and hopefully it'll turn out. So this is that blue that I said was absolutely gorgeous. This is Hypnotic. And then I'm using this pink one, which is Alchemy. And the white, which is the quartz white. See how that's shimmering there? So I'm going to paint these up, and then I will mix up the resin. And once I get the resin mixed and do the debubbler, I will come back. It'll be just a few minutes, so if you don't mind, I didn't want to. We'll start painting these before we go off, but I don't want to take a chance of my resin trying to get too warm while I'm trying to paint up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do his hat, this section right here, in the blue, and then his little nose area in the pink, and then his hair that's back here around the edge. I think it's hair. It looks like hair. I'm going to do in the white. Not quite sure what color I'm going to do his little clothing as yet, and his feet. I may do the feet in a gray. I'm just not really sure, but I figured I would start you off on that. So we will go ahead and work on that for a few minutes, and then we will go off camera while I mix the resin and finish him up and get it done. So I'm going to try just taking off the lid here because this is super pigmented, and I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now you're probably not going to ever see me doing that just because it is way down in there. And I don't know if that's going to be the right brush or not, but try to make as little mess as possible. Now looking at this is a matte mold, so hopefully these mica powders will spiff it up some. I think I'm going to use a different brush here. Yeah, I'm going to have some cleanup to do in this for sure. You can see that right there. I don't know what made me think to grab this mold, but it's what popped out at me, so that's what we're going to do. And make sure I get down there in the very tip of his hat. Kind of hard to see what part is his face and what part is the hat. So this is all hat here in the back. So tell you, this color is beautiful. Dianka, her chemistry for making these mica powders are awesome. What I'll probably do is get this hat done, take a little bit softer brush just to make sure it all gets worked in, and getting loose out, do some cleanup on this. Okay, so that is part of its hat. It's kind of hard to tell. It is a very soft mold, but because of the shape, you really can't do it inside out and paint it because it just blocks the areas you need to get to. Let's see, okay. That looks like part of his nose. So, it's been a lot cooler these last few days here in my neck of the woods. It's been raining, very drizzly, then heavy rain, then drizzle, clouds. But I think we could use it. I know some parts don't, but here in our area, we really kind of did. See, I don't think I got any there really well. And once I pour this one time, I'll be better able to tell where all his parts are. Huh? Because it's like it's at his nose, it's at his hat, it's at his cheek. You just really can't tell. All right. I think I got it. And worst case scenario is if I get color where I don't want to get color, I can always take markers and color it up afterwards. Okay. Let's go to the trash can, get any of that excess out. Get my light on there, see if I can see it. Let's see, another little area that I need to go over. Okay. Where's my little blushy blush? There it is. Oh, it's a stick. Fooled me. Let's see. I know I just saw it a second ago. I didn't pull it out. Oh, there it is, right in front of my nose. Good thing it wasn't a snake or something, and then I dropped it. Now, you can get it back up there. See if we can just blend that in a little bit. It's a much softer brush than the other. It doesn't really good to put, you know, the mica powder on, but it does really a good job of smoothing it out and blending it. So that's what it looks like, a deep dark hole. All right, so that's what that's looking like with my switching sponge. There it is. And I'm sure most of you know what the switching sponges are, but if not, it's just a little can. Got a little styrofoam thing in there, and you take your brushes and it cleans off the colors so you can use a different color. Just take it in there just like this and call it done. All right, now like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this blue up so I don't spill it, because I will. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clean this up and finish painting it up, make my resin, and then when it's done in the debubbler, I'll come back. So I'll see you then. Okay, everybody, I've got the resin mixed up, and I got the mold painted. I did the little feetsies the same color as his hat, and to put in the mold to pour the resin, I'm actually decided to use some more of the DiankaPours, the Royal White to pour into it. And I mixed up 8 ounces, put it in the bubbler or debubbler, and let it run for 5 minutes. Still have a few bubbles in that one. Let's see about this one. We'll spritz with a little bit of alcohol. There we go. Sometimes my bottle does not like to spray, but it's okay. So we'll give that just a minute or so just to finish it. And I have a feeling I mixed up way too much, but that's okay. We can always find another little mold to put it in. I actually have a German Shepherd mold here because I love German Shepherds, do German Shepherd Rescue and Foster, and I have a lot of friends in the German Shepherd community. So worst case scenarios is we have what they call an Echo Shepherd, a white one. A little piece of glitter in there. Not sure how I got there, but you know, things happen crazy. I poured this mold for the first time the other day with a friend of mine. It came out really cute. So, like I said, hopefully, you know, we may have enough to do both of them. So, I've let this set for another few minutes. It is starting to get a little warm, but I think it will be fine. Let me get a little tray here so that my heat mat is at another table. So, I will move it on this. But as I said, you can see I did the nose in the pink. His feet or shoes, same color as his hat. And then I did his actual hair and beard in the quartz white. So let's go ahead and get this poured. Now once I get it down the hat, I am going to gently squeeze it because it is a nice little tip down there. And I don't want no bubbles. I don't want to squeeze too hard because I don't want to disrupt the powder that's in there. And I couldn't decide what color I wanted to pour this in. So I decided to go with this white. Yeah, we should definitely have enough to do the little German Shepherd one and maybe a few little extras. Just trying to pour it slow so we don't create indie bubbles. And this may be just the right amount. I need a little bit more, but let's see. Oopsie daisy, thank goodness I have paper there. Now this cup that I'm using here is what came with my debubbler. So I try to use them because they don't kind of squeeze in on themselves in the debubbler. You know how plastic cups do. And it seems to work better as far as not causing the resin to overheat faster or to, you know, get hot faster. So I do like these cups for that. You know, this was the perfect amount. I couldn't do that again. I mean, I didn't even measure it. I just poured equal amounts into, you know, 2 of these and let it rip. Got all that out of there. Okay. And I'll clean that up in a minute. Yeah, that was the perfect amount. I'll make this up so I don't put my hand in it. You may notice I have a different shirt on. That's because I didn't want to get anything on my new Rod Stewart t-shirt, and I got hot, so I put on my good old trusty sleeveless shirt. It's not pretty, but I won't be ruining another shirt. That's how I ruined this shirt, was, you know, doing resin. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's give that a minute or so. I'll probably let it sit here for, you know, a little bit before I put on the heat mat. And, you know, maybe cover it up with something. But I do love this color, this royal white. It's nice and creamy. Not that I'd want to eat it, mind you, but it's very pretty. All right, so I am going to go ahead and move this one over to the heat mat so that I can do this next mold here. So give me just a second. Yeah, that was good. So the heat mat, like I said, it's not on. I'm not going to turn it on for at least probably 30 minutes. But I did want to get that out of my way because, and I don't know if you can see, but this is a German Shepherd. I'm wondering if I want to, no, I think I'm just going to pour it white because that would be realistic to an extent. Or some of the Shepherds, or some people may think, you know, Great Pyrenees, but however, this is definitely a Shepherd mold because I specifically ordered the Shepherd. I'm going to spritz just a teeny tiny bit of alcohol because those ears down there, I did notice when we poured the other one and demolded it that there was a bubble on the ear and on its snout. And then I'll tap off the extra like so. And then once I get some in there, I will squeeze the ears. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just squeeze in the ears. There are some bubbles coming out of there. A big one. There we go. Couple more. Does anybody have a German Shepherd? If so, how long have you had them? Was it adopted? Or how did you get owned by it? And how old are they? We lost our last girl, who was actually our very first foster, about 2 years ago. And then 8 years prior to that, I had lost my girl, my heart dog. Her name was Hannah. And then over the years, we fostered probably 20 dogs or so and helped rescue and get them out of bad situations, get them adopted. And so yeah, it's very rewarding, but German Shepherds have a very special place in our hearts. It's funny, when I first got Hannah, my girl, she had never been for a ride in a vehicle, had never been in the woods, and the owners had her imported from Germany, and then, yes, she started getting too big for them, and they decided that they was going to let their nephew have her, and the nephew had intended upon putting her out back in a doghouse, and I'm like, no. I had you know, been with her since they gotten her, because they would bring her to the office where I worked at, and because it was their company. And I was like, no, I'll take her. And she was the best dog. I've walked every road around my neighborhood and beyond. And I had her trained to where I didn't even have to put a leash on her. I'd tell her work, and she knew she was in work mode. And then when she wasn't, I would release her. Yeah, but she still stayed right by my side. I still miss her, really do. And then Heidi, our other one that we lost 2 years ago, she was a Shepherd Malinois mix, and she was feisty. Ooh, that girl was feisty. She was very dominant, too. So, I mean, she let the other dogs, when she first meet them, hey, I'm the queen bee. It's my way or the highway. You know, and she helped train a lot of the fosters we had, and how, you know, how to be a dog, you know, and the proper dog rules. And she was a good girl. She was funny, very athletic. All right, so this one is pretty close to being full. Before I fill it up, I am going to move it also over to the heat mat, because I don't want to spill it all over the place. So I'll get over there and put probably about another maybe quarter teaspoon in it to fill it up. And then we're still going to have some left. Give me just a second. Put just another few drops in there. All right, my friends. So, let me see. Oh, I know mold. I just got friend of mine, the one that I said I poured the German Shepherd mold with the other day, she has a Shepherd mix, and she had started getting into resin, and then decided not to because of space and that, you know, time, because she still does work, you know, and I'm retired, so I have more time. So she brought me all these. She brought me some mica powders, some molds, all kinds of molds, some bezels, and all kinds of things. Some letters, you know, for like keychains and things. Just gonna clean this one out. This is a puzzle piece, and I think it would be cute. I may add a different color into this, because then once it's cured, then I can use my Cricut and put something on it, like, you know, for a team, or, you know, that kind of thing. Let people know that, you know, that you value them as being a piece of, you know, something in their lives, etc., etc. So I think I got that. So I would love to, you know what, let's add this DiankaPours Tree of Life, because it's gorgeous. Oh man, this is so pretty, y'all. Look at that. Oh, that is pretty. All right, give me a little scoop here. Look at that. Put 2 generous scoops in there. And I'm thinking this should be enough to do this. And if I have anything else after that, then I'll just put it in some little butterfly mold or some other kind of little extra mold. Now, I will say, and I know the other folks that I've watched that's used DiankaPours mica powders, they blend in like butter. I mean, and this is the Tree of Life mixed with the Royal White. That's so pretty. All right. Doesn't that look like velvet? But this may be just enough to do this mold. That's awesome. All right. That's about that. I'm just going to go around the side here. It is starting to get a little thicker. Okay. I know it's not sitting level because I can tell, but this part's kind of filled and this part's not. Once I move it over to the heat mat, it will be. And it'll leave enough room for if I do put some verbiage on it, that with the Cricut vinyl, I'll have room to top coat it. So let me take that over there. Okay, friends, I will be back once it's time to demold this and get my stuff cleaned up, so I'll see you in a bit.